Okay, this is the final term project for our Astral Chronicles game. So I am Quincy,
And I'm Philip.
and we're going to show you the game that we made. So let's just start off with some gameplay. I am running it from Unity editor because we have some problems building. We can talk about that when we go through the code. So let's press play.
Why don't you make it full screen so we
It
can get a better view? Yeah.
So, as you can hear, there's music playing in the background. We can list credits. Um, these are the people that made it. So when we start, this is where you'll be. So first thing, music's a little loud. So if we go to our menu, we can actually control it. So we can just turn it down a little bit more. Yeah, that sounds about good. So press E to talk. So we can. Whoa, we have some moving text. Welcome, space traveler. Welcome to our solar system. This system is rich with star metal, of valuable resources sought by many brave adventurers, such as yourself. You can mine star metal from asteroids like the ones floating around here, but you must be aware the star metal attracts many dangerous pirates. They will not bother you around these parts of the system, but as you journey further out, they will start to attack. The further out you go, the more often they will attack, and the more difficult they will be to defeat. Good luck and journey well. So, WASD to move. It's a little floaty as you would in space, you know. That was our first achievement. Movement of 15 meters, and it went away. That's nice. So these are the asteroids. You can see we can shoot in the air. So let's shoot the asteroids. And then there is the drop star metal. So let's pick it up. Value 100 star metal, and as you can see, it added it to our inventory counter. So let's explore a little bit.
So the way we have our areas set up is like this initial zone where you talk to the NPC and you see that nice looking green and blue planet is the starting zone. It's meant to be kind of like the area where you'll learn to play. And then as you progress out, just like our nice NPC told us, that's where you'll start to get into these encounters like we just saw our player get into right now. So why don't you continue on, Quincy?
Yeah. So here is our battle scene. As you can see, we have some health UI elements, some information about our weapons, and some text description of what has just occurred. So, the Enterprise, us, received hull damage, 10 hull damage, and 20 shield damage, where hull damage is red and shield damage is blue. So now it's our turn to attack. So let's use our basic missile one. Whoa, big damage. So we used our basic missile one, where they received 4D hull damage and no shield damage. You can see that got reflected on their health, and then they shoot us back. So something to note is that our AI uses the min max algorithm to decide the best choice. You do not know what their weapon arsenal is, but they are making the best choice that they can, assuming that we are as well. So,
Now, you don't, I just want to cut in there. You don't know what their weapon arsenal is, but there are visual indicators showing you, giving you an idea of what to expect, right? Especially in terms of the difficulty level. So, number one, the galaxy itself, or the solar system, I should say, was designed so that the closer you are to the center, the easier the game is. The further out you venture, the harder the game is, the harder the enemies are going to be. And there are visual cues for this because the nebulas in the background, as you can see here, they're kind of blue and purplish. The further you get away, it starts off with a nice blue. As you get into sort of the medium difficulty area, you're going to see this like kind of turquoisey purple nebula color, and then as you get into the far reaches of space, it turns like this bright red, right? Which will give you a very good idea of what to expect and what kind of enemies. Also, secondly, The enemies themselves. So all of we have each area has a number of ships that are prefabricated by us that you can run into. Right, it's going to randomly select one. However, all ships from a certain zone or also like of a certain difficulty level will be the same color. So this easy zone, so to speak, will have green ships as you can see here, and then the medium difficulty zone will have purple ships, and then the final zone, the most difficult zone, will have red ships, right? So that's a good indicator of what to expect. Another thing I want to mention is you can see that both ships have names. So the enemy ship names are actually taken from it's randomly taken from a text file of a bunch of names that we've come up with, and that way each time you play the game and you encounter a ship, it's going to feel a little different, right? You're never really, I mean, there's a small chance that you encounter the same name, but there's quite a few names on the list. So more often than not, you're going to run into a different ship every time, right? And it's going to give you that feel. So I just wanted to note that there.
Yeah. So let's finish the battle and continue on our journey. So we can also kind of skip through the dialogue with just by clicking here. So I believe that our best choice is using the basic missile just because it does the most damage.
One other thing just to quickly point out is that each weapon also has its own sprite. So as you fire off different weapons, the animations and
Oh.
visually you can see different attacks happen, right? Different colored lasers and things like that. So yeah,
So as you saw, the achievement of killing our first enemy happened. So let's keep. Oh, another fight. Now this could just be a minimum distance bug that we're running in. Not it's not a bug. It's a setting that we probably should change. Where the encounter gives us a little bit of leeway before the next available fight occurs. We just have to find a way to balance it so it's fun, but we also want you to experience sort of the combat. So now it's kind of getting important on what's, on your health. So let's kill this guy rather quickly.
yeah. This might also be a good opportunity to show the
Oh,
flea
yes.
mechanic.
Run. I think we're going to get into another battle like immediately. Oh, yes.
Yeah, this is just a setting. We may have forgotten to adjust the setting from when we were doing some testing earlier.
Run. Run.
So you can start to see the nebula in the background become like change and become that kind of greenish purple color that I spoke about. And eventually we should run into some purple enemies.
Run. 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 You're gonna kill us.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
there you go.
Oh.
We're
Oh.
now in the
They're
next
they're
tier.
really gonna kill us. So, let's shoot them. I think they're just gonna one-shot us, to be honest. Oh. Okay, so more damage. They're not really using their lasers to do damage with us, more of their missiles. So. No, they're gonna win. They know they're gonna win.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the idea is this is already a higher tier uh, difficulty area, right? You're not supposed to just venture out this far right away, but it was a good demonstration of the differences in the zones. So
hmm And we just want to show you that you could save and then quit
yeah, of course you
and
can.
then
If you hit
go
continue,
back
it'll load
to
you
where
back
you
up.
were. Now, unfortunately, the your health doesn't save, so we could
Right now,
just
it's mainly just saving the position of the player. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, would you look at that? We died again.
Oh, yeah.
So now let's look at some code. So some of the things that I would like to highlight is my scene manager, my sound manager. Those are the two biggest changes I've added since the last devlog. So let's take a look at it. This I also yeah, and the sound slider, I guess, but that's quite simple. So for the scene manager, I'm developing this wrapper for the Unity's built-in scene manager, where we can use like mine instead. Um, and the reason being is I kind of want to add some functionality where I can specify specific scenes that I make and define, and I can implement logic so when the scene changes, I can do certain things, and I can control it all from this singular file. So if I go back to Unity and I open up a scene with the scene manager here, as you can see, we have our battle scene, space scene, start scene, and we can actually label these however we want. You can actually switch between the scenes as well just by clicking on the Unity scene. The scene index, it represents the index that it is. These are -1 because it only shows you the correct number when you're active on that scene. So this is going to be a good way to kind of get a list of all of your scenes and like from the editor and control it there. And this kind of is going to work together with the sound manager, right? So as you can see, when the scene is the main menu music, we're going to play music. The music key or title is, sorry, the music key is title in this case, and we want to interrupt the music if it is already playing music, right? We can set it to false if like we go to from a main menu scene back to an instruction scene and then back to the main menu scene, right? So it doesn't interrupt and it sounds clean and not jarring. Let's see. A lot of this. So to mention the like why it wouldn't build, it looks like the builder doesn't like Unity editor things. For example, like scene asset. This is a Unity editor type of asset that only exists when you're using the Unity editor. Did not know this until we started building it. So as you can see, we're using some what's called pre-processor definitions that only compiles if it's true when it only compiles when it's true. So in this case, this will compile because this is the part of the Unity editor. And these are some changes I made, but there's still a lot of like bugs for the build. Let's talk about the sound manager. Again, I've incorporated some nice functionality. So you just add the sounds that you want inside of your resources folder for your SFX and your music. And what happens is it automatically shows up here, right? So this is your key name, title name, right, for your SFX and music. So you can kind of see what is available to you. And when you run the game, and the game runs, it preloads a bunch of audio sources. Let's turn that down. It preloads a bunch of audio sources, and we use object pooling, but with the audio sources, and just like loop through it. So we're ready to deliver sound at any point. So it should just give us some nice, like, lag-free. Oh, I'm not showing you the Unity screen. My apologies. Lag-free gameplay, right? As you can see, I have all of my keys, and then I just have to add it to this. So back to the code. It's very simple. We have a play music function and a play SFX function that just plays it where you pass in the key name. The two actual functions that do most of the legwork is this bool is playing where we return the audio source that we've selected. And we also have this recursive play function that will like loop through the audio sources and like uses object pooling correctly. And then I added some slider bars so we can actually edit it in game in the menu using enums such. So now I think Philip has some code that he would like to talk about.
Yeah.
Let me
So
change the screen so you can see this.
I'm not going to go through anything that I mentioned in the previous devlogs, but one nice feature that I did add more recently was an interface for interacting with objects, right? And this allows the player to interact with different types of objects within the game, including NPCs and items, right? Like interactable items, like the star medal that you saw, right? And it also allows us to get the prompt for the screen, right? So anytime you see, push E to pick up this item or push E to talk to this NPC and so forth, this is happening all through this interface, right? So if I go to my NPC, you can see that it is using the interactable interface and very easily just calling the get prompt, right? And in this case, push E to talk, right? But um, when we're looking at our base item, it's going to say push E to pick up, and then it's going to, of course, display the item name, right, based on what it is, right? And our base items are using a scriptable object for its item data, but that's again something I covered in a previous devlog, so I'm not going to get into that too much. Um, just want to highlight here that in the player class, it is in fact going to use the interface and call, or it's going to check for the interactable interface and of course call the appropriate function within that interface. Yeah, I'd say that's one of the most one of the better improvements I made to the code from the last devlogs. So just wanted to highlight that.
Um,
And that's it
and
for me.
yeah, so thank you for watching. This is our Astral Chronicles game. We hope you enjoy it and enjoy playing it. We're hoping to add it to itch.io very shortly. We just have to filter out some of these development bugs. But it should be up there soon. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.